What piece of gear should you design for the Azhor's Master Smithy event, and how can you make it as perfect as possible? With this year's Frostfall Jamboree in Watcher of Realms, we got a brand new event type, and that is the topic of today's video, Azhor's Master Smithy. In this event, it is so incredible. You can fully design and then recast the perfect piece of gear. Now, I've already received dozens and dozens of questions on Discord, not even counting the stuff on YouTube in the comment sections, with people asking me, what piece of gear should I make? What set? What slot? Or what kind of gear piece? What main stat? What substats? How do I make the right decision for my account? Well, you guys are asking me this, and in this video, I am going to answer. That one piece can improve the gear on multiple heroes because you're going to replace one piece of gear on a top hero, the replaced piece goes to the next hero, so on and so on. It's this beautiful waterfall effect. Your whole account will be leveled up. So many team comps will be improved in so much content. So make sure you pay attention to everything I say in this video. If you like what you're hearing, let me know in the comment section below. If you don't, also let me know. Give the video a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel. We're about 250 subscribers away from 50,000. I would love it if we could get there before the end of the year and start 2026 with over 50,000 subs. All right, how should you approach Azhor's Master Smithy? Let's go.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
First things first, to be able to participate in this event, you need luminite. This is a new resource in the game. It's a special event currency for Azhor's Master Smithy. This can be earned through the Frost Trial. Now, if you don't know what that is, please watch my other video. I'll put the thumbnail right here. I walk through exactly how the Frost Trial works, and I do a full guide on how to beat it to completion and earn all 77 chests. I put a ton of tips in there. I did a full breakdown. Definitely go watch it. It's the easiest, most straightforward way to get that done. And you're gonna wanna max it out with all of your Frost Keystones so you get as many luminite as possible. There are two kinds of Frost Keystones. As of now, we can only earn them through the Frostfall sign-in. And you can see here, if you sign in for 10 days over the next 15 days, you will get 8 of the standard Frost Keystones, these purple Frost Keystones, and then you'll get 2 of these advanced red Frost Keystones. We do not yet know exactly how much luminite can be earned from these advanced keystones, but we do know how much can be earned from the standard ones. And that number is the following, 294. You can see it right here. If you max it out, you're gonna get 3 medium chests that have 25 luminite in them each. That's gonna be 75. And then you'll get 73 of the smaller chests, and those in total will yield 219 luminite. So in total, it's 294. So if we do some quick math here, we know at a minimum, we're gonna have 8 of these standard purple Frostfall Keystones, and they're gonna yield 294 luminite each. That means at a minimum through this event, we're gonna have 2,352 luminite to play with. Very likely we'll get even more from the advanced Frost Keystones, and perhaps there will be other ways to earn them as well throughout the game, or they will introduce new Keystones. But for now, it's enough. It's pretty dang good. So how do you use this feature and what should you build? Well, when you go to start crafting, there are gonna be 5 steps. Step 1, what set will you pick? Step 2, what part is that gonna be? You know, what piece is it gonna be? Is it a bangle? Is it a weapon? Is it a breastplate? Is it an amulet? Is it a ring? You get the picture. What's gonna be the primary attribute? If you choose a right side piece of gear with a variable main stat, what are you gonna choose? Obviously on the left, the weapon is always flat attack and the breastplate is always flat HP. Then you get to choose all 4 substats. You get to hand pick all 4 secondary attributes. And finally, you'll just keep re-rolling those stats until you get great rolls on all 4 secondary stats, on all 4 substats. So what should you pick? In my opinion, there is a definitive answer. And to show you that, I need to go into my gear right now. Let's just unequip Setrum to make it simple here. The first big question is, do you go for the right side or the left side? In my opinion, it is a no-brainer. You should go for the left side and you should pick Wicked Vengeance gear. Now, I'm gonna have a video tomorrow with extensive testing I did with Behemoth. Shout out to my boy Chris. And in that testing, you'll see that we created some quad substat warlord pieces. So when I say quad substat, when I'm referencing left side DPS gear, typically that means attack bonus, crit damage, crit rate, and attack speed. This is the perfect 4 substats for the vast majority of attack-based DPS in this game. There are a couple exceptions, but on the whole, this foursome of secondary attributes, this is the best combination. And you can see if we're sorting by warlord, I have none from weapons and none from breastplates. The only way to make a piece like this would be to use special gems that you earn from Malric's Halls of Illusion. So traditionally, you cannot have these 4 on a warlord piece. I could, however, in theory, go for a warlord piece over here on my breastplate, let's say, that has attack bonus, crit rate, and then the only available through Ancients exclusives and variant substat, attack speed. Take one of these, go to gear enhancement, go to transmutation gem enhancement, and then use transmutation gems, if I had them, to continually reroll this until we got crit damage. Then effectively, we will have created a quad, because this HP bonus would become crit damage, and we would have attack bonus, crit rate, attack speed, and crit damage. So based on some test planning I did with Behemoth, I went over to the test server, and I created perfect quad substat warlord pieces for both weapons and breastplates. And I did a head-to-head comparison between warlord and wicked vengeance. And I will have a full video on it tomorrow, but I do want to tell you already in this video before I release that, based on the head-to-head testing, at best, warlord is as good as wicked vengeance. From our testing, it's a little bit worse. So as it stands, wicked vengeance is still stronger. So for that reason, you should be picking wicked vengeance as your set. And now, to take a step back, why am I encouraging you to take a left side piece over a right side piece? Frankly, it is harder to earn this perfect combination of substats, even with Wicked Vengeance gear, than it is to earn the perfect combination on the right side, which would look something like this, where you have attack bonus as the main stat, and then crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, and either flat attack or rage regen. Now, it's still hard to earn those, and actually one good example on my account is that I have had just terrible luck with amulets, and I actually only have one perfect Cataclysm amulet on my entire account. You can see this one right here. However, I've looked at many other accounts, and I am uniquely screwed on this. I also want to make the point, the reason the left side gear is going to be more valuable for the vast majority of players is, aside from a couple exceptions or non-attack-based DPS, the best in-slot piece is going to be Wicked Vengeance, and these are going to be the substats. So there's no variability coming down to what kind of hero it is. Is it an Infernal Roar hero or a Soulbound Arcana hero? Maybe you want him in Cataclysm or Hell's Lament, somewhere in between. With the right side gear, you have those questions, and the gear is a little bit less universal. On the left, there's really no wiggle room. Wicked Vengeance is going to be the best time and time again for the vast majority of heroes. Now, if we know we're picking Wicked Vengeance and we know we want this quad substat combination, attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed, do we go for the weapon or the breastplate? Now, in certain situations, a player could go for the breastplate, but I believe the vast majority of players should go for the weapon. Let me explain. The weapon, like the breastplate, only has 2 superior quad substat combinations. If we look at the weapon, there's the classic one, the best option for the weapon for the vast majority of heroes, attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed. And then the secondary option would be attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and rage regen percentage. You can see I actually don't have any of those, but even still, this is going to be inferior for the vast majority of units. A unit like Virna, for example, would be better off with this build, but a large majority of units will want this combination. The breastplate also has 2 combinations. There's attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed, and also attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and flat attack. Flat attack is not an option to have as a substat on the weapon because it's already locked in as the main stat. Flat attack is always the main stat on a weapon, but on a breastplate, you can get that. And the key thing to note here is the following. On the weapon, the vast majority of heroes will have this as their preferred main substats, right? A couple units like this, but the vast majority will be these 4 substats. The breastplate, however, it really depends on the hero and the build you've created. Some units, their best 4 substats are going to be the following: attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed. Other units, their best combination actually will be flat attack. So this is a bit less universal, right? If it's a Soulbound Arcana bursty style unit and you already picked up a ton of attack speed in the other substats, flat attack is going to be superior here to flat attack speed. So this isn't as black and white where, oh, this is the best combination. Gun to my head for your account, this is the best combination, but in many circumstances on many heroes with many builds, this would be superior. There are far fewer circumstances with the weapon where this would not be the best combination to have on a piece of gear if you could choose. And in this event, we get to choose. So for that reason, I think almost everyone should choose a Wicked Vengeance weapon with the following substats: attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed. Now, who should pick a Wicked Vengeance breastplate with those 4 substats? Frankly, anyone who has had very lopsided luck. So for example, R-Type, a good friend of mine, one of my moderators, and a fellow content creator in the game, he's actually editing this video, so big shout out to R-Type. He, randomly on his account, has also gotten 6 pieces total with these substats and from Wicked Vengeance between his weapons and breastplates, but his distribution is not as even as mine. You can see for me, I've got 3 weapons and 3 breastplates. He has 5 perfect weapons and only 1 breastplate. So in that example, if you have such lopsided luck and such a strange distribution, you absolutely can go for the breastplate. What I will say though, if it's not that stark or you just want to, in a vacuum, do the best thing, please go for the weapon. Because even if I only had 1 breastplate with these substats, I would still have 3 more with these substats, which are almost as relevant for certain heroes and even better for others. Again, it all depends on the build. So I hope I explained myself. I know this has been a bit technical, but I believe for almost anyone, if you don't want to overthink it and you just want to do the meta thing, like the best choice for any account in a vacuum, not considering all the other things on your account, this is what you should do: a Wicked Vengeance weapon with these substats. The final thing I want to address before we go back to the event and I start creating this and I walk you through how to do it is the following. Yes, as you get deeper and deeper into the game, crit rate becomes less significant. You'll see when you look at top players, they are going to get all the crit rate they need, at least 100%, so they're crit capped, from just 4 substats. So then a piece like this becomes insanely powerful. You can see I have 1 example right here on this Anai exclusive. No crit rate, the other 4 amazing stats, and we've got attack bonus, crit damage, attack speed, and flat attack. If you're super endgame and you want to go for something like this, you absolutely can, but because these pieces are hard to use, I find them to be more niche and thus not something you have to go out of your way to target. But as you can see looking here, I actually only have 1 perfect breastplate for an endgame account on my entire roster. If we look at my weapons now, I actually only have 1 perfect weapon as well. I still need to recast this. How do you use something like this? If you give me 10 seconds, I'll just show you. You throw this on, and then you look for perfect pieces of gear, but you aggressively hunt crit rate in the substats. So it would look something like this. Let's try to build a Cataclysm set if we can. Are we going to have a high enough roll over here? If we ditch the flat attack, we should. Let's snag that. Let's grab this one too. And you can see I'm getting such big crit rate substat rolls that I'm making up for the fact that I ditched crit rate on 1 piece. So I only need 20.5% more crit rate. I can look for another great piece now. Let's see what we got. Something like this, for example. And here you have it. Not too shabby. We're over 100% crit, and my stats are super inflated because I picked up a bonus substat here by ditching crit rate and making up for it elsewhere. However, almost no players should do this. I just wanted to at least address it in the video. What you should do is make a perfect weapon, so let me show you how to do this now. Sorry the video is going a little long. There's just a lot to talk about, and frankly, I'm just very excited by this event. So let's start creating. I have my 294 luminite. How do I go and use them? Click the Start Creating button, and the first step is to pick the set. Obviously, as discussed, the set we're going to pick is Wicked Vengeance. So let's select that now. This first selection, as you can see, will run you 50 luminite. That brings us down on our daily luminite to 244. I've now used 50 out of the 294 I earned from my 1 standard frost keystone. Next up, we have to pick the gear slot, as I like to call it, or the piece of gear type. So are you going to pick a weapon, a breastplate, a bangle, an amulet, or a ring? We chose Wicked Vengeance, so we chose left side gear, so our only options are weapon and breastplate, and as discussed, we are going to pick weapon. This is going to be another 50 luminite. That brings us down to 194. Next up, and this is very annoying for people picking left side gear, they make us pick the main stat, which will cost us another 50 luminite. I think this is dumb as hell. If you pick left side, they should reward you by giving you 50 more luminite or not requiring you to spend another 50 luminite because there is no other option. With the left side gear, flat attack is the only main stat for weapons. Flat HP is the only main stat for breastplates. But still, they make us choose, and frankly, they just charge us another 50 luminite. So now we've spent 150 luminite, and finally, we go and we pick our secondary attributes. So of course, we're gonna pick attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed. That will run you 100 luminite. Now, I will say, when I first saw this, I thought they were gonna charge us 100 luminite per secondary stat, per substat. At least they're not doing that. For 100, we can lock in those substats, and now we are cooking. Confirm the selection, make sure it's correct, so go back and double check. Attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed. We are good to go. And now Azhor will forge us our perfect piece of gear. However, as you can see from those rolls, though the stats are perfect, this piece of gear is not perfect. And that is what the remainder of the event is for. We can keep using luminite as gear recasting hammers to continually recast this. However, you can see here on the bottom, I'm going to make myself smaller and move myself out of the way. There is one key line of text. And for the love of God, do not mess this up. If you recast 5 times, they will upgrade this piece into being an ancient mythic piece of gear. There is no benefit to this. Yes, in theory, that last recast will get ancient rolls, but once it is an ancient piece of gear, you can no longer use standard recasting and refining materials on that piece. You'll have to use the ancient recasting hammers and the ancient refining crystals. Those are so much rarer, so much more expensive, so much harder to find and to use. Do not do that. So what you should do is once you have another 800 luminite, you can recast this 4 times. Then if you don't like your 4th recast, go ahead and claim it anyway, and you'll be getting a normal piece of gear, a non-ancient, non-variant piece of gear, and that is a good thing because you can go and use your normal, far more common recasting and refining materials on it. So let me show you an example now. Let's find a perfect substat piece on my account. So we're gonna go here and you can see, I've got this Uridin exclusive that is very, very strong. Attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage. Exactly what we're talking about today. This is an exclusive piece. Exclusive pieces of gear are very special, but they are not considered ancient or variant quality, unless it's an exclusive and an ancient or variant. But if it's not ancient or variant already, it's actually a normal piece of gear. So if I wanted to recast this piece, recast this Uridin exclusive weapon, I can use my normal gear recasting hammers. I've got 83 of those bad boys. If I wanted to refine a singular substat, I could use my green refining crystals. However, if we look at this piece over here that I have on my Azhor right now, this does have the perfect combination of substats, but this is a variant piece. So variant is considered ancient rarity or higher. So if I go to recast this now, I can only recast with advanced ancient recasting hammers. I only have 1 on my entire account right now. And if I wanted to refine 1 substat, I would have to use an advanced refining crystal. Yes, these numbers look similar. I have 22 advanced refining crystals and 27 normal ones. That's because I hoard these like crazy. Over the history of my account, I've probably had at least 200 or 300 of these normal refining crystals. I just use them a lot. The advanced ones I save for very special pieces of gear like this over here. You can see I've already used one before. That's why this attack bonus substat is locked in. So even though I have 22 now of these, I've probably only had 40 or 50 ever. Where here I'd say I've had at least 200 or 300 or 400. So making your piece ancient is really negative because it's going to be a lot harder to perfect. So the way you make the perfect piece and make sure you can perfect it is by ensuring you do not let it rise to ancient rarity. That's not going to help you at all. So throughout the course of this event, stay on top of your frost trials. Go watch my guide. We'll put the thumbnail down below me now. If you're on top of that, you will easily have 800 luminite and more. You also get other resources there like legendary skill dust, rare summoning crystals, and some mithril. And who knows what we'll get from the advanced keystones. We'll find out about that soon. But here, enjoy the 4 free recasts you're going to get once you have enough luminite. And then please go ahead and press claim. And then if you have to do any more tinkering, do it with your normal recasting hammers and your normal refining crystals. Final note, if it was not obvious, do not claim this until you're done recasting. If I claim this now, this is the piece I'm going to get. These substats over here. All right, guys, there you have it. I really hope this helped. If you have any follow-up questions or need any clarification, let me know in the comment section below. I've been Fastidious. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.